So Pokémon Legends Arceus finally came out, and after 70 plus hours of doing everything possible and rewriting the script multiple fucking times, I'm here to review it. Sorry for being late. You've read the title, you know how this is gonna go. It's a good Pokémon game, but it's not quite there yet. The game offers a lot of good, it still does things pretty bad, but I want to talk about it. The way this review is going to go is really simple. I will first talk about the things that I liked about this game and what they did right, and then I'm going to talk about the things that I did not like and they did wrong and could be improved on. Spoilers ahead. I've been forgetting to warn you guys about spoilers, I apologize about that. This is by far the best Pokemon game to come out in a long time. Dare I say, it might be my new favorite Pokemon game. Puh! Pokemon Art Gold Soul Silver, ew, that's for babies. Pokemon Legends Arceus, yeah boy! Legends is innovative and brings so many good new things to the table that I really hope we see in future Pokemon games. The core gameplay loop revolves around you investigating Pokemon and completing their entries on the Pokédex. You can do this by either capturing the Pokemon a lot of times, by defeating it a few times, or seeing it use a certain move a certain amount of times, or you can do a combination of all three until you get a perfect 10. Nothing is more satisfying than sneaking in the grass, throwing a berry to distract the Pokemon, going behind it, and while the Pokemon is eating the berry, you throw the Pokeball and you capture it. It is such a good feeling. The Pokeball hitting from behind has such a humph. By filling all of these dex entries, you get higher in the ranking system. Each time you rank up, the game rewards you by giving your character access to bigger and better balls. Did I actually write that? What the fuck? This is a great idea because for the first time ever, Pokemon is incentivizing the players to complete the Pokédex and rewarding them by doing so. Not with a shiny charm that most people don't even care about, but by giving them better tools to make the gameplay loop easier and make the player keep playing. It is so intelligent, oh my god. Combat has also had major changes with the new agile style and strong style and the new status effects. It really changes the whole battle system as we know it, but it changes it to the better. Not only that, but the animations have also been reworked and completely improved. I think Flame Wheel looks so fucking good. But my favorite thing about combat to this game is that it happens so seamlessly. There's no cutscenes, no breaks, just boom, you throw a Pokeball and bam, you start combat. It's so well done. The action parts of the game are okay. There isn't much depth to it. It's not combat like Dark Souls. It's just a basic dodge and attack. And honestly, those are done pretty well, so I can't really complain. I also cannot do this review without talking about the world. There are 5 areas you can explore, and they're all populated with different Pokemon. But the most important thing is that they are actually fun to explore. Arriving at a new area for the first time immediately entices you to go explore it and see the new Pokemon, get the new items, meet the new characters, and see what each location has to offer. It's interesting to explore the biomes and see each Pokemon living in its own environment and see how they react differently to you. Like I've said before, earlier smaller Pokemon, they ignore you or might just run away, while Pokemon in later areas that are much stronger will try to show you who's your daddy. Not only that, but now there are these bigger and stronger versions of Pokemon with red eyes called Alphas. And we can say that they act as mini-bosses in the overworld that are way too overleveled for you, but if you manage to defeat them somehow, they will give your team huge amounts of EXP and give you, the player, some items. And it's interesting because it becomes this risk versus reward thing where you think you can maybe try and defeat the alpha Pokemon, and you know if you do, you're going to get a lot of EXP for your team and also some items, but if you don't, you might actually get killed by this alpha and lose items yourself. Story-wise, it's not God of War or The Last of Us, but it is enjoyable. At least more enjoyable than Sword and Shield. The whole Arcanine arc that happens halfway through the game is something that made me realize that Game Freak is actually capable of developing a somewhat interesting story. Overall, I actually enjoyed the story, and I even found myself getting attached to some of the characters. The cutscenes are also really fucking cool. You can tell that a lot of work went into them, and it's easily one of my favorite parts of this game. Oh, fuck, and I almost forgot. I have to talk about the post-game. How come I didn't write this on my script? I'm such a fucking idiot. So the post-game is actually one of the most interesting and entertaining we've gotten in years. You go around the world catching the legendary Pokemon and collecting these elemental plates that, when put together, will help you get in touch with Arceus. But it's revealed that your partner Volo, the guy who's been with you the entire game, my favorite character, the guy who's been helping you, was actually evil the whole time, and he wanted all the plates so he could summon the devil Pokemon Giratina and fight you. And oh my god, dude, this fight is easily one of the hardest, if not the hardest, I've had in any Pokemon game. Let me tell you why. Volo has a really strong team and a kind of familiar one if you think about it, but after you defeat him and you think it's over, bitch, you're so wrong, because he summons Giratina behind him in one of the coolest fucking cutscenes I have ever seen in any Pokemon game, and then you have to fight the Pokemon Devil himself. Now, why is this fight interesting? Because if you lost any Pokemon during the Volo fight, they're not gonna get healed. You go with what you have, you're pretty much fucked. But anyways, you defeat Giratina, it wasn't that hard, you maybe lost 1 or 2 Pokemon, but guess what? Giratina looks you in the eyes and says, "This isn't even my final form," and turns into the strongest form he has, and guess what? You gotta fight him again without getting your Pokemon healed. Dude, it's so good. After you finish this challenging fight, you actually get the quest to be able to capture Arceus, but first you have to capture all the Pokemon. So when you do that, you go up these stairs and you meet God, and you have to fight him yourself in order to attempt to capture him. Arceus is incredibly difficult and keeps you on your toes the whole time. One fucking slip up, one fucking mistake, and you have to start everything over. Game Freak achieved something amazing here. They actually made Pokemon be fun again. Even after I was done with the game, I went back to complete the Pokédex, get those perfect 10s. I went to do shiny hunting, I went to do the side quests. I could not stop playing. This game for me never got boring, and I had way more fun playing this game than playing The Last of Us Part 2. Take that as you will. This game fucking sucks. Even though this is the best Pokemon game to come out in years, it's not without its flaws. Now, I'm going to first mention the obvious things that are wrong with the game that every fucking reviewer and every person online has talked about, and then I'll talk about more personal stuff that I think should really change and be improved on. The graphics could be much better. I think they look okay personally. I don't really play Pokemon games for the graphics, but when games like Breath of the Wild are pushing beautiful landscapes on the Switch, you really can't help but think that they could have done better with this game. Especially when there are obvious flaws in the textures that are right next to each other. It's just infuriating. The animations, like I mentioned before, Game Freak knocked it out of the park with this one. The animations for battle and for the cutscene look amazing. But there are so many missing animations in this game, or repeating animations, where the screen might just fade to black and you have to fill in what's happening with your imagination. Now, if they did something as amazing as changing the battle animations or making fucking awesome ass cutscenes, is it not possible to put the extra effort to make a few more custom animations so there's no fades to black? It's just a little Speaking on the lack of basic features that should be on a $60 game, what about the voice acting, Game Freak? When is that coming? I know this game already has a little bit of voice acting, but I think it's time Game Freak starts going through the natural course of game development, right? I mean, I'm not saying the entire game needs voice acting, but maybe start with, I don't know, the cutscenes, kinda like Breath of the Wild did. I don't think there's any person online that has made the comparison between this game and Breath of the Wild. I think I might be the first one, guys. Oh my god, I'm so original. Since a good part of this game is just reading text boxes with minimal animations to go along with, the game's starting to feel a lot more like a visual novel after some time, so, you know, just invest in some voice actors. There's some good ones. Lag is also a problem I must talk about. It's only really noticeable in the action parts of the game that have a lot of particle effects, like the later fights. But when you have to do a fight where you gotta perfectly time your dodges, and especially during the Arceus fight, it really damages the player experience, because you can blame a lot of your deaths in lag. I'm a good gamer, I never die, it's always lag's fault. Now, to talk about my playthrough, I'm gonna tell you about some stuff that I disagree with in this game that really damaged my player experience. The movement is so fucking ass. You're trying to get over a small cliff, but somehow your 15-year-old legs cannot climb this little piece of shit. Are you fucking kidding me? And then there's some jumps you do on your right Pokemon that should easily be possible, but you keep getting stopped by invisible walls. It's so dumb. I understand it's their first open world game they've ever done, but you know, so it was Breath of the Wild, and in Breath of the Wild, there's also a thing in the story that really bothered me. At the end, you get this choice where you can either have the leader of the Diamond Clan or the leader of the Pearl Clan to join you in your final adventure, and depending on this choice, the last boss you fight changes. You can either fight Palkia or Dialga. Problem is, no matter what you choose, the fight is always the exact same fucking thing. None of their moves are different, none of their attack patterns, nope. Just making this a completely empty choice. It means absolutely nothing to the game. I like that I get to choose which one I capture first and then which one I fight last. But in the end, it's always the same experience. Nothing absolutely changes, so why put the choice there in the first place? Okay, so I said that first you capture one of the legendaries, and then you fight one of the legendaries. But it's not in sequence. For some reason, Game Freak thought it was a good idea at the climax of the game to have a like 30 to 45 minute gap where your character goes and gets some stupid fucking rocks. Like, who the fuck does this? This is like some Last of Us Part 2 level shit, man. You don't stop halfway through the climax if that's what the player is interested in. I don't care about some stupid rocks. Yes, I realize they're important to the plot, but Jesus Christ, you couldn't have wrote that better? But the thing, oh my god, the thing that pisses me off the most that this game does, it makes my blood fucking boil. Makes me think there is no hope for Game Freak as a company. You can't fuck your teacher in this game. Believe me, I tried. Now, in all seriousness, the thing that Game Freak removed that really damaged my experience was removing the abilities, removing the Eld items, and removing the online battles. Things that have been present in Pokemon games for years. Now, I can understand that maybe in a canonical way, held items aren't in the game yet, because since Pokemon are this new thing that people are exploring, they might have not realized that maybe giving this guy a half-eaten apple would make him stronger. But seriously, you're gonna take away abilities entirely? What are you gonna tell me, that Pokemon weren't developed enough back then, they didn't have abilities? That's such bullshit. Pokemon like Cherim and Regigigas have their abilities, why not the rest? From multiple data mines, we know that the new Pokemon have abilities in their files. So why aren't the abilities in the game? I'm bringing this up because there are Pokemon that, in my opinion, depend on their abilities for you to unlock their full potential. You wouldn't see me using a Scyther without Technician, or a Porygon without Download. Now, I know that Pokemon Let's Go also didn't have any abilities, and I don't really care about that, because it was a remake of Gen 1, which also didn't have abilities. But you know what they had? They at least had online battles between two people. Whatever happened to that? You have trading with another player, why not fighting with another player? What am I missing here? That's so stupid. It's this lack of basic features in a Pokemon game that make me think that Game Freak is taking one step forward, but sometimes two steps backwards. Overall, I like this game. I think it's a good game. My whole playthrough, I was having so much fun, and even after I was done doing everything, I was still enamored with Legends, and I still wanted to keep playing. But I cannot help but think that this game does not unlock its full potential. So many things being overlooked, so many things being completely forgotten about, it makes me feel like this game is missing something, like it's incomplete. Now, I have a MatPat game theory, where I think I know why Pokemon games are always lacking. Game Freak since 2021 was reported to have around 167 employees. And if you guys don't know, Game Freak likes doing this thing where they divide the employees into two teams, where each team works on a separate game. Meaning that a little above 80 people were working on this game at a time. And for that amount of developers, I must say their work is very impressive. But it's not going to reach the height of something like, oh, I don't know, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which had 300 people working on it at the end. Thankfully, I am so glad that this game sold well, 6.5 million copies in less than a month. That is insane. It was generally very well received by everyone, especially the older Pokemon fans like myself. I can see this being some sort of like eye-opening experience for Game Freak, where they finally realized that by getting out of their comfort zone, they can actually get rewarded. My predictions for the future of this franchise is Game Freak will finally start to innovate with their future games, taking these risks. Pokémon Legends Arceus feels like a prototype, an empty shell of something that could become the greatest Pokémon game in the future. And if they go back to the usual linear experience with barely any changes for each entry, it will only damage their reputation as a company. Game Freak has something special here, and if they don't keep building on it, then my disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined. Now for my final score, because this review has been going on for way too long and I've been working on this for like 2 weeks, Pokémon Legends Arceus' gameplay is fun and offers you multiple hours of great content. But the game is hindered by its outdated graphics, by its lack of voice acting, by its frame rate, things that really shouldn't be a problem for a game that costs $60. It just shouldn't. So if I were to rate this game as a game in general, I could not go higher than a 7 out of 10. Oh, wait, hey, the review isn't over. Where the fuck were you Were you clicking off? I saw you click off, come back. But if I had to rate this game as a Pokemon game, then it's in a completely different story. As a Pokemon game, this offers an amazing breath of fresh air, a great experience for new and old fans of the franchise, and in the end, countless hours of fun for any of us to enjoy. If I am rating this as a Pokemon game, for me, it's easily an 8.5 out of 10, making this one of the greatest, unfortunately not perfect, Pokemon games of all time. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you did enjoy, don't forget to leave a like. And by the way, I'm trying to make it until 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. If you could subscribe, I'd very much appreciate it. Making videos this year has been really fun. I enjoy that I'm able to be creative again, and making content is something I really missed, and I'm really glad you guys are enjoying that. Don't forget to follow the links in the description, join the Discord for updates on new videos, or when I'm streaming at twitch.tv/TheGbossTV. I don't really stream anymore, but if I did, it'd be a shame if you missed it.